Good morning, my neighbors. Happy Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. My name is Kevin Smith. Sorry about starting a little bit late today. I've got a visitor in studio who's eating everything. Oh, wow. Look at that. He's eating everything in my studio. Come here, bud. Get up here. Of course, now that I'm ready for him, now he's not ready to get off the floor. Now that I'm ready for him, he's not ready to get off the floor. Eating the ball. The whole ball. Yes, I've got my dog here. He's a bit of a terror, but we're going to get him. He ain't moving for nothing. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. I got a big show for you. Kevin McCarthy says he won't back Trump in 2024 because he doesn't think he's the strongest candidate, while your local Republican Party backs a Democrat over a sitting Republican in Legislative District 1. Don't worry, guys. I was paying attention the entire time. Think you can slip that one in underneath. Don't worry, I'll be here to be a pain in the ass for you forever. Also, Daniel Penny is to be arraigned today in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Unfortunately, hey, nope, not having it. He ain't having it. Also, a new law in Albany would make it virtually impossible to fire bad teachers, and not just bad teachers, but teachers who want to groom your kids. We'll get into that in just one second, but before we get started, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out the shop. You guys can use promo code RUMBLE for 20% off everything on the website. That's promo code RUMBLE for 20% off everything on the website. Sorry you guys didn't get an update today that we were going live. I don't know what the hell happened there, but things happen. So we're going to dive in to the big story right off the bat, straight away. This from CBS News. Kevin McCarthy will not support President Trump in his upcoming bid for president because he doesn't think he is the strongest candidate. He doesn't think he's the strongest candidate. Well, that's incredibly interesting because your entire party thinks otherwise, Kevin McCarthy. And this is the problem with the establishment. Oh, you're going to cause some trouble over there. Rocky, come here. He ain't going anywhere. Come up. Yeah, now he's not listening. There he is. There he is. Come here. My crazy ass dog. I tried to get him on the show, but that wasn't working out too well, so now we're back to the lower thirds as usual. So, Kevin McCarthy says he will not back President Trump because he doesn't think he is the strongest candidate in the race. Of course, his entire party thinks differently, and that's what the Republican establishment really doesn't seem to understand. They don't seem to understand that, it turns out that we do what we want to do, and you're supposed to represent us, not the other way around. I'm not sure how long you have to sit on one of those daises to accept the fact that actually you work for me, Kevin McCarthy. It doesn't matter how many Hamptons fundraisers you go to. It doesn't matter how much burrata you eat in Smithtown. You work for us, my friend. You work for us, not the other way around. So when, 58% of your party, 58% of your delegation, 58% of the people who put you in power want a certain guy, maybe you ought to go with him. Maybe you ought to support that guy. Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy on Tuesday said he doesn't know if former President Trump is the strongest Republican candidate for president, a rare crack in McCarthy's robust support for the GOP frontrunner. I'm not sure what universe CBS News is living in that they think Kevin McCarthy is showing a robust support for the GOP frontrunner, but, so be it. McCarthy made the remark during an interview with CNBC on Tuesday morning in response to questions about Trump's legal battles and electability. See, here's what the GOP doesn't understand. It doesn't matter whether it's the local party. It doesn't matter whether it's the national party. These guys don't seem to grasp the fact. Stop doing interviews with CNBC. They don't like you. Stop giving them the time of day. When Newsday calls, I don't answer. You know why? Because their paper is a rag. I don't answer. I don't give them the time of day because I know that they don't like me. And they're either going to spin everything I say or they're going to take everything you say in the worst possible context. But for too long, establishment Republicans, like our local party, like Kevin McCarthy, they want the love of people who are never going to vote for them in the first place, who, no matter what they did, would never vote for them. That's what people like Kevin McCarthy do. That's what people like our local GOP establishment does. Kevin McCarthy goes out, says that Trump may not be the strongest candidate, which is all they wanted to hear. Nothing else is going to come out of that interview. Here's the quote. Quote, can he win that election? Yeah, he can, McCarthy said. The question is he the strongest to win? And I don't know that answer. But can anybody beat Biden? Yeah, anybody can beat Biden. Can Biden beat other people? Yeah, Biden can beat them. It's on any given day. What, bro? This isn't a damn high school football game where anybody can beat anybody on any given day. Why aren't you out there on the stump doing what you need to do to get President Trump elected? Maybe if you had done that in 2020, we wouldn't be in the mess we were in. Maybe if you had done that in 2020, you would have been the Speaker of the House the entire time. But establishment Republicans can only see what's directly in front of their face. Establishment Republicans can only see what is directly in front of their face. They can't see down the road because every one of them is so afraid of losing their jobs. That's why they pander to people who they don't like, who don't like them. They beg and they grovel. That's why I never got involved in party politics. Because all party politics is 30 people sitting in a room trying to grab the scraps of power. I tell you what, if you've ever been in these rooms and it's funny because the bigger the party, like locally it's not as bad, but once you get nationally, the rooms get bigger, they get filled with more and more people, and the crumbs get smaller and smaller. It's a sad state of affairs, let me tell you. It's a sad state of affairs, but that's what we get out of Kevin McCarthy. Just another rhino, you got that right. Just another rhino. That's the world we live in now, though. That's the world we live in, where people like Kevin McCarthy get to the top and then sell out the people that put them there in the first place. What up, Freedom Jeffrey? I see you in the chat, bro. Yo, it is so funny. It is so funny to see how badly these people continue to try to push DeSantis over and over and over again. Guys, before we keep going, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you're on Rumble. That really helps the channel. The thumbs up right at the bottom of the page. If you are new, please do hit that follow button right at the very bottom. Guys, if you're not watching on Rumble, I'm going to put the Rumble link in the chat. Because let's be honest, who the hell knows how long I'll be around on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter with the stuff I'm saying. I'm sure I'll get zapped by somebody. So make sure you guys are on Rumble. Look, Rumble's the way to go. Everyone's going to Rumble. Bongino, exclusive on Rumble. Crowder, Rumble. Tim Dillon, the very funny comedian, exclusively on Rumble. He just made the switch. The Quartering, exclusively on Rumble. It is time for all of us to leave these places that hate us. Rumble.com/LoudMajorityUS. That's the place to be. Hit that follow button. Giddy up. Because let's be honest here. With people like Kevin McCarthy running the show, who the hell knows what happens in 24? Just butter soft. I mean, have you ever heard him talk? He just sounds, I don't know, mushy. He doesn't even sound like he believes the stuff he is saying. He doesn't even sound like he believes the stuff he's saying, but he's not alone there. He's not alone there. Now we've got to go to local politics, because for those of you watching nationally, just know that your local GOP, your local Republican Party, your local Conservative Party, they will sell you out just as quickly as Kevin McCarthy would. Every single one of these people, they care about one thing and one thing only, and that is controlling their own power base that is keeping power for themselves. Need a better example of this? Here's what happened on Long Island yesterday. Catherine Stark defeated Gregory Williams in the Suffolk GOP primary. Well, I've got a question for you. Who the hell is Catherine Stark? Who the hell is Gregory Williams? Well, why don't we dive in? Because something here is going to shock you. And if you're from Long Island and you know the players in this, you won't be shocked. Catherine Stark defeated Gregory Williams in the Republican primary for Suffolk's 1st legislative district late Tuesday night in one of several primary races all over Long Island. Stark got 62% of the vote, and Williams got 37%, according to the unofficial election results. Stark will compete for legislator Al Krumsky's will compete to replace Al Krumsky in the district on the North Fork, Shelter Island, Flanders, and a portion of Brookhaven. Oh, Brookhaven, go figure. Krumsky will not seek re-election. Now, let's scroll down. Who is Catherine Stark? Catherine Stark will face former Riverhead Councilwoman Catherine Kent, a Democrat, in the general election. All right, here we go. Stark, 60 of Riverhead, has worked in the Suffolk County government since 1996, including in the administration of former GOP County Executive Robert Gaffney, and has worked as Krumsky's chief of staff for the last 10 years. So let me get this straight. This woman, right here, on the left, worked for the Democrat as the chief of staff for the last 10 years. And just got endorsed by the conservative and Republican parties of Suffolk County. I want to thank you guys. You see, this is why no one trusts you guys. You endorsed the Democrat over the sitting Republican. I can only do so much to help you guys. I can only do so much. Endorsing Democrats over Republicans. The Conservative Party. Ooh. You and your 9% of the vote. Unbelievable. Unreal. But that's what happens. That's what happens in this county. Whoever greases the wheel greases something else. It's terrifying. It is amazing to see what people will give up just to jockey for power, particularly in this county. And you wonder why nobody trusts you guys. You wonder why when you have events, no one shows up to it. You wonder why I can pull 30,000 people at a fundraiser, at a rally, and you can't fill a VFW hall. I'm done with you guys. I'm done with that. Said my piece. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. But on to even more sadder news as we get going. Before we get to that, do hit that thumbs up button if you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on Facebook. Hit that like button. Tag your friends in the comments so they can see what's going on in the world as we move on to Daniel Penny. Before we get to that, a quick word from the great Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog bed.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, please do support the people who support this show. Head on over to MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. Look, guys, I want to thank Mike Lindell for supporting this show, for giving us the opportunity to make a living. You know, it's hard to find advertisers that's willing to advertise on conservative shows, but Mike Lindell, always willing to do that, always willing to stand for America First principles. He's a hell of a guy. I love running into him whenever I do. So go to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD, and support the people who support this channel. You know, it's amazing how quickly news changes. Apparently, you ready for this one? Malaria has been detected in Florida and Texas. Malaria has just been detected in Florida and Texas. It must be election season because now we're getting new viruses. This is the first malaria outbreak in the United States since 2003. Florida and Texas. What the hell's going on in Florida and Texas that would all of a sudden bring on new diseases? Oh, that's right. How about the millions of people crossing the border, unfettered, unstopped, unchecked, probably uncleanly? Because look, and I'm not calling them dirty. All I'm saying is that if you walk from Guatemala to Texas, you might, I don't know, you might be a little dirty. Just a thought. Just a thought. But, look, it's election season, so bring on another virus. Bring on another virus. As we roll on in, guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button on Rumble. Sorry, we had a little bit of a problem today getting the show started. As you saw, my dog was here before, and he was acting a fool a little bit. He decided to eat everything in my studio and be a giant pain in the ass, because that's what he is. A giant pain in the ass. Love him to death. So, ex-Marine Daniel Penny is set to be arraigned on manslaughter indictment in New York City subway in the New York City chokehold death of Jordan Neely today. Daniel Penny is slated to appear in a Manhattan court Wednesday morning to be arraigned on manslaughter charges in the chokehold death of homeless man Jordan Neely. The 24-year-old former Marine is expected to be asked to enter a plea on an indictment charging him with second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide for the caught-on-camera confrontation with Neely on the F train. He faces 19 years in jail if convicted on both counts. This is a travesty. As far as I'm concerned, it's the end of my city. It is the end of New York City. The arraignment is set for 10 a.m. before Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Maxwell Wiley. Let's look up Maxwell Wiley. Let's see how insane this person is. Let's just see how batshit crazy this person is. Anything interesting on this fella? Let's see here. Oh! All right, maybe this person isn't so insane. Apparently, Judge Wiley, who is the judge in the case over with Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely, is one of the ones who dismissed fraud charges against Paul Manafort back in March of 2019. Wow. Manafort at the time had been charged with dozens of felonies, including mortgage fraud. In his decision, Miley said the charges against Manafort were the same ones he had been tried for on an earlier date, and New York law says a person can't be tried twice for the same crime. Basically, the double jeopardy law in New York provides a very narrow window for prosecution. So maybe this Wiley guy isn't batshit crazy after all. He seems to be a Democrat, went to the Wisconsin Law School, so at least he went somewhere in the Midwest and not to like NYU or Columbia. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. Unreal. It is wild to think that you go overseas, you serve your country, you come home and protect American citizens on the subway, and now you're facing 20 years in jail. It is wild that Daniel Penny was actually safer in the Middle East than he was on the F train. Safer in the Middle East than he was on the F train. Look, there's going to be a long process. It's going to be dragged out. We're going to see how this goes. The former infantry squad leader has been set free on $100,000 bail after surrendering to the cops almost 2 weeks after the encounter with Neely, who had a long history of mental illness and been threatening riders, according to Penny and witnesses. Penny said that he didn't mean to kill Neely, but that he felt obligated to get involved because if Neely, quote, had carried out his threats, he would have killed somebody. Witnesses say that Neely started becoming disruptive, making threats and throwing trash, prompting passengers to move away from him and prompting Penny to get involved. I mean, look at this guy. I don't know. Between the hair and the mustache, I'm not seeing a cold-blooded killer here. Penny's lawyer had previously said he plans to clear his client's name and that, quote, the standard of proof in a grand jury is very low and there is no finding of wrongdoing. What are we going to do? What exactly are we going to do here in New York? What are we going to do? And, of course, at the same time this is happening, a new poll has just come out. A new poll has just come out saying that the majority of New Yorkers oppose housing migrants in SUNY dorms. The majority of New Yorkers oppose putting migrants in SUNY dorms. Most New Yorkers oppose using dormitories at public colleges to house migrants this summer, while a plurality support a study that could lead to reparations for slavery, according to a state. Get the fuck out of here. That ain't gonna happen. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Yeah, right. By a margin of 54 to 33, voters opposed the use of dorms at the State University of New York campuses to temporarily house migrants. Respondents, by a margin of 46 to 40, oppose relocating some migrants from New York City to other counties. And by a margin of 54 to 37, voters support the creation of a commission to study slavery and discrimination against black Americans and propose remedies such as reparations and legislation. But there was a steep partisan divide over the issue. 61% of Democrats support the commission, while 64% of Republicans oppose it. Legislation approved by the state legislature last month would automatically seal criminal records of most prisoners after they complete their sentence. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So what that means is that if you're if you're hiring someone to do a job, you don't get to look up whether or not they've been in jail before. You don't get to look up whether or not they've been in jail before. Don't worry. I'm sure that'll totally go well. I'm sure that'll go well for everybody. This is the death of a once great city. This is the death of a once great city. It's so sad to see. But, so, this is going to be funny. So our jails will be empty. Our colleges will be filled with illegal immigrants. Malaria will be on the rise. Joe Biden will be in the basement. And Kevin McCarthy will be supporting Ron DeSantis. That is where we're at now, guys. Unbelievable. Oh, and heroes. Heroes will go to jail, like Daniel Penny. Oh, and Hunter Biden will be, I don't know, how much money you think he'll take in this year from Kazakhstan? You know, Blue Collar Joe. Hey, I'm just Blue Collar Joe, guys. I ride the Amtrak back and forth. Anybody else know a blue collar worker whose kid made tens of millions of dollars in Mongolia? Unreal. That's the world we live in now. That's the world we live in. Guys, I'm wrapping up. It's about 9 o'clock. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Make sure you head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sorry I've been starting late recently. I'm going to be getting back to starting at a regular time of 8:15. It's just been, you know what, maybe I'll start at 8 o'clock. We'll get to that. It's been a wild couple weeks, as I'm sure you all know. Wild couple weeks. So thank you all for bearing with me. I will be back at 1 p.m. on LFA TV. Guys, make sure you're checking that out, rumble.com/LFA TV. Until then, everybody, I will see you back live on Friday. Until then, guys, stay loud.